All right, cool. I want you to go to TD Ameritrade and just set up an account. You're going to set up two accounts. The first account will be a cash account, and the second account will be a margin account. Um, so the cash account is going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be a cash account. I'll explain what margin is in a minute. So you're going to create a cash account and cool. So all right, your margin account. So when you get to the point of going to create your margin account, you're going to be asked these questions. So you're going to say, hey, I want margin privileges. I want to do options trading. I'm going to do futures trading. I want to do forex trading. All right, it's going to be one that's going to ask you about your tiers, right? So you want to have tier three at the end of the day, but they might not let you get tier three. But when you apply, you're going to apply for tier three, right? Um, and that'll make sense later why you need that. All right, cool. It's gonna ask you about your level of trading expertise. You want to go ahead and put either good or extensive, right? Um, it's gonna ask you about your investment objectives. When trading options, you want to use speculation. It's gonna ask you how long you've been doing it. You're gonna say 3 to 5 years. Reason being is because I've been doing it 3 to 5 years. So you guys are pretty much gonna be my students. So I want you guys to represent yourself to them as if you were me. So go ahead and just say 3 to 5 years. It's going to ask you what kind of things have you done in the past. You'll say stocks, bonds, and options. Um, and yeah, so that's what you want to do. You want to go through that. That's going to be for your margin account. So that's your margin account. So now let's talk. So that's your margin account, and then also, like I said, you have a cash account. The reason I would say open up your cash account first is because when you like once we get started trading and everything, that'll be your default account. Like we just want it to be your first, the main one, like your first default account. So your secondary account will be the margin account. So by default, when we log in, it'll default to the cash account. So just in case you move fast like me and you got a million things going on, it'll just be like bang bang instead of like bang. Oh, hold on, I gotta think. I gotta do this before you do whatever you want to do, right? So to avoid that, let's go ahead and do it that way. I did mine the other way around, and I had to go through a lot of stuff to change it around the way I wanted it, or the way that I later found out that it should be. All right, cool. So that's that. All right, good. So let's talk about a few things. So a margin account. So a margin account, it is a margin account. The reason why we're doing a cash account and margin account is because of something called a PDT rule, and that's a pattern day trader rule, and that applies to people with less than $25,000 in their account. So I have a person with less than $25,000 in my account. So I learned about this rule the hard way. But what this rule says is that in a 5-day rolling period, you can only execute 3-day trades. But what is a day trade? A day trade is so as you guys know, because you guys have been watching the lessons, you guys know that the New York Stock Exchange that we trade primarily from the stock exchange is open from 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so a day trade is a trade that's open and closed within what? The same when day, right? So a day trade is a trade that's open and closed within the same session or day, right? All right, cool. So you can only do 3 of those within 5 rolling days. What's 5 rolling days? As you guys common sense says is if today is the 10th, then 5 rolling days must be including today 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If today is the 13th, 5 rolling days must be 13, 10, 9, 8, 7. We don't count weekends, right? We count trading days, right? So it's going to be today and then the 4 days previous. So if you do a day trade on the first, second, and third, if you come on Wednesday and you try to do a day trade, it'll let you do that day trade. But as soon as you open that trade and close that trade within the same day, there'll be a Fed call on your account, and you'll be required by the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, to deposit funds in your account to make your account at least equal or greater than $25,000. So you have a Fed call on your account if you execute a fourth day trade within that 5-day rolling period. So the workaround for that is what? A cash account. A cash account, those rules don't apply because I'm not leveraging the house money for that. I'm using my cash, and that's the kinds of accounts I have. I do have a margin account. We will need that, like I say, for more complex, advanced things that we need to do and that you want to be able to do. But um, and we're talking about our cash account and our margin account. So that's the reason why we have a margin account. That's the reason why we have a cash account. And now I'm going to tell you the reason for a margin account. Well, to be able to trade Forex, to be able to trade futures, to be able to trade, to be able to have better leverage when trading stocks, we want to use margin, right? So let me tell you what margin is. So we have a couple different things. I have my money, which is in my account. They call it cash. Then we have the house money, right? If I'm using TD Ameritrade, right, it's TD Ameritrade's money, or if I'm using E-Trade, or if I'm using Robinhood or Acorn or whatever, that's called the house money. That's what they call margin. And then buying power is what I have when I go to the marketplace. So if I put 25,000 of my dollars in, 25,000 cash into my account, the house will give me 3 times my money. So the house will give me 3 times my money and they'll give me $75,000 of buying power in the marketplace. Now I cannot go to an ATM machine and withdraw uh $25,001. No, I only got $25,000 in my account. But when I go to the marketplace to buy stocks, my buying power is $100,000, right? But my cash is still only what I brought to that, my cash, right? So don't get any fancy ideas, right? So yeah, but again, so you can immediately see the power of leverage. So if I have any amount less than $25,000, the house will give me 1 times my money. So if I got 5,000, the house will give me a 5,000. So now when I go to the marketplace to buy stocks, not stock options, which is what we primarily do, I have $10,000 of buying power in the marketplace versus my cash, buying power, right? So that's the beauty of margin, right? In the cash account, of course, I don't have to even explain it, but in the cash account, if I put in $5,000, I only have a power of $5,000 because I don't have the power or the benefit of leveraging the house's margin, right? All right, cool. So again, guys, we talked about how to get your TD account set up. Um, we talked about the differences between a margin account and a cash account and why we need both. And I hope that you guys go ahead and knock this out. And I hope it helps. And you all have a great day.